Hello there. I hope that you are well. Um, yeah, let's see. Mm, God, please be with me and guide my words. So, the last couple of days I have stayed on plan, and that's been pretty awesome. Yesterday I had a slight diversion because I didn't plan terribly well, and I ended up having to have a snack. And I just texted like an accountability partner just to kind of keep on the reel with it. But then once I did that, I trusted that it was okay and things went fine. And part of me thinks that I am discounting all of the variables that are helping me to not eat off plan, mainly having a crush on someone. And at the same time, like, I still have cravings. I still have a strong desire to eat foods that I haven't necessarily planned, but my plan is getting much broader, and I'm starting to actually incorporate foods that I honestly never thought I would be able to eat. And I'm finding that as I do that, and as I connect with kind of my inner child, like, basically at some point she kind of was like, okay, I'm bored with this. You know how like kids are, like little kids when they're having fun playing and you're trying to get them to eat and they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. Like, I don't want to be passive or not receptive to eating, but I want to reinvestigate that place of hunger and nourishment, like to know when I'm hungry and when I'm not, and to experience life to such an extent that I'm like, food's nice. I mean, it's great, but so's life. And so the last couple of days have been really blessings because various aspects of my life have been enjoyable. Yes, there's this guy I'm kind of crushing on, and a lot of it is in my head. I don't know him that well, so I'm just really trying to stay honest about it and just keep asking God to bring me closer to Him, like God, um, so that no matter what, my heart stays in that loving, kind, generous, kind of humble place. And so I'm still open and vulnerable and available and willing, but I'm also still really doing my best to nurture and care for myself and all the parts of myself. So that has made a huge difference, but also prayer and doing tiny baby steps in the EDA literature. I'm talking like maybe only writing for like 5 minutes. Um, and it doesn't seem like much, but I'm amazed at how like little tiny bits of effort build up over time. I don't know why we just live in such a different mentality in terms of our culture, and I don't know what's right or wrong, but what I find is that if I do things gently and at a fairly slow pace, but an intentional one, it's very different for me, and it does lead to growth and less cravings and more willingness to just kind of be with my truth. Um, so I have a crush. I've been using the literature. I've been communicating with other people, but also like continuing to explore the things that I enjoy doing and being present for all of the wacky ideas that come up in the meantime, and not dismiss them, but also not necessarily let them totally take hold. And finally, another thing that's really been helping me is like honesty. I'm having some financial problems right now, and it's primarily money management that I'm really struggling with. And I don't want to face it. I don't want to deal with it. Like, I had to do some budget sort of. I'm terrible with this stuff because I'm just not a money person. But I like to be. I'm trying to be. Oh gosh, like balancing my budget sort of, and also a budget that I've been responsible for in the community, and I'm not balanced, and I'm in the red, and that's not good. But there is something really refreshing about sitting down, taking a deep breath, asking for God to be with me. And, for me, my God is this loving, gentle, kind presence that just is like with me and next to me as I go through this thing called life. And a protector for sure. But anyway, so sitting down, asking for his presence, and then just very basic, like just writing down the little things, asking questions, talking to myself out loud. Like a friend of mine says that that's a sign of genius, so I say that I'm just being a genius right now. um, and and by the end of it, it took me 10 minutes. Again, I like didn't like the outcome, but I knew I had something to expect in terms of that. But I felt this peace, like, okay, now that I know that this is where I stand, I can learn or figure out, okay, how am I going to get where I need to get? And then thank God, like I have a higher power that I can trust will help me get there because, yeah, money and me, we are not always so great. So yeah, those are kind of the things that are going on for me right now. It's definitely been an emotional time, and also, so when I am no longer using food, like throughout the day, even right now, I get chills all over my body, and I don't actually feel cold necessarily, but I just feel like this presence. And some people say that that's like the Holy Spirit. I kind of tend to think that might be the case, but whatever the case, like that I'm learning is normal for me. And so I'm kind of almost embracing it instead of being like, oh, I hate feeling cold. I hate feeling the chills all the time. I see it as this like beautiful sign of progress. And I guess kind of like the layers are coming off of numbness. And so I am feeling everything, and that's intense, but it's also really cool. So that's what I know for today. No major okay, so one other revelation that happened was when I was meditating this morning. And, I frequently ask God how to get closer to Him. And for a while now, I've been imagining myself like sitting in the lap of something, and like maybe this big, giant, nice Merlin type guy, but he's kind of more like a Buddha. And then all of a sudden today, it became this like big. Well, first it was a bear, and then it was like a white polar bear, and it sort of vacillated between like a brown bear and a white polar bear. And so like the white polar bear was almost this effeminate being, and so I felt like this nurturing, and then the darker one was kind of like the masculine, but then the male and female sort of merged into this white polar bear that had dark tendencies, and I felt like my body just felt peace, and of course I started crying and just feeling so much gratitude, and I just saw myself curling up in the lap of this big, huge polar bear, and I was on its left side, so my head was like really like nestled into the heartbeat, and then like later on I actually kind of imagined like whoa, wait a minute, I realized there's a place on the right side of this polar bear that like maybe that's where my future partner is. And then I imagined this guy that I've been talking to, and I felt some like reservation around that, and I felt a little nervous, and then I thought, well, this is very early, and again, I'm just gonna be present with my polar bear God and like be nurtured and nourished so that I can go out and try to bring the same thing for other people. So often I think I'm being selfish by asking God to hold me and to love me and to nourish me and just embrace me, I guess. And I'm starting to think that part of that is because by experiencing that, I can then give it, So yeah, that was what came up. Oh, and then there was a heart thing where basically like my heart sort of felt hard, and I prayed to have it opened and softened, and at first I imagined it draining, like I needed light to be poured in, and then all of a sudden, like this little tiny seed of light within actually expanded, and like light just poured out and shined out. So that was kind of cool. So I figured I'd share those things. All right, we're getting close to the wire here. So I've got a short paragraph from the EDA literature. We do not profess to have the only solution, nor do we think our solution is necessarily better than any other. There are many paths to recovery. Our main hope is that you find one that works for you. We certainly never discourage anyone from taking any action that feels like the right road, but we are here should other means fail. I loved this paragraph when I first read it because I have explored so many different places, and on the one hand, I've heard it in some other programs and it made me scared because I think intuitively I knew that they were not a good fit, and I was really afraid that I wouldn't find the fit, and I just really wanted a program that would give me the answers. But I appreciate the reminder that like there are many different roads to recovery and even just in life. And so it allows me the flexibility to have some will present, and some autonomy and freedom of choice and decision, and flexibility in terms of like if and as I grow, if I have other needs that I might outgrow a certain approach, and that's okay. I can trust that. So, well, great. That's what I know. I hope that this finds you well, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Lots of love. Bye.